invincible. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talladega Superspeedway. It's RMR Money Racing Tuesday Night Thunder. The first race, in this new series, new format, kind of a new idea here that Ron Morris has came up with, and there's a lot of exciting things about it, including a huge cash prize that's going to be on the line at the end of the season. And each one of these weekly races still has the big payouts that we're used to seeing. You saw it tonight, $525 payout. We'll see how that decides to scale based on what kind of drivers we have. Drivers are currently in qualifying. You're watching right now Jeff Merck here. And in just a second, we are going to get an interview from one of the new teams that's starting up that has 4 drivers. So that's a considerably decent-sized team in money racing. Usually when we see a team of about 3 or more, if that team rather is fielding 3 or more drivers, it's pretty significant. And this is Team PGR. This is a new team. We'll talk about them in just a second. Let's pop up a couple things here for qualifying. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. We were pulling double duty on the broadcast shift. It is a lot more brutal than I thought it would be, so thank you all for coming out. Duck, you were in here. A couple guys that were in the last one that I didn't really talk to. That one was a little bit more of a serious one. Good to be back here where we can kind of, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, but a little bit more laid back for tonight's broadcast. Get to just watch these guys go at it for some cash. We are trying to pull up just a couple more things here. Let's do... And we'll let Jeff Merck qualify. It was 10-minute qualifying today, and they got about 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in it. Jeff Merck currently topping the board, but that still has a lot of time to change. And I am here now. We'll first talk to the owner of the new team, PGR, Michael Triscaro. Michael, you got a copy, man?
I got a copy, man. How you doing tonight?
Well, I'm good, man. How about you? It looks like this new team, you got 4 cars in the field tonight. That's going to be a strong showing, hopefully, for Team PGR. What do you think about it?
I love it, man. We got Mike Davenport, Brandon Broadfoot, Curtis Rogers. So we're going to give it a go, man. We're kind of going in this blind tonight, but we got some practice laps in, and we're ready to go.
All right, and let's see if we can maybe talk to one more member on your team here. How about, let's go with Curtis. Curtis, you got a copy? And if we can't get Curtis, we can try one of these other guys. See if Mike Davenport, you got a copy?
Yeah, I copy you.
All right, Mike. Well, how about this here? New team, Team PGR. You're one of the drivers for it. What's your goal tonight?
I think us, having some good drafting and getting through the field if we have to, or maintaining track position and just kind of being cohesive and, just try and get a clean finish here and finish the best we can after that.
All right, that sounds like a good plan to me tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Team PGR. We'll see what they do tonight. We're going to let them go back to their chats. We'll hop back over here to the broadcast channel real quick, if I can get over here. And for any of you that were just tuning in, we had the first league race for the Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series presented by the Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists. I'll tell you what, that was a dang good race. I'm excited for that season coming up. Going to have a lot of good stuff involved with that whole organization. So happy that they brought me on board. And one of those things where we had a good stream tonight, don't get me wrong, but it'll get better as the season goes on. Almost like how teammates have chemistry, broadcasters kind of gain chemistry the more they broadcast for a certain group of guys. And this is a good group of guys here that we're going to be broadcasting for. Brandon Broadfoot, one of those Team PGR drivers. Going to go see what kind of lap he can put down. But currently it's Jeff Merck taking the top of the board, followed by Matthew Baker, 2nd, 30, and Martin 4th. David Sheets, and 5th, Garrett Maines. Usually don't see Garrett in on some of these weeknight events, so good to see Garrett in here. He's got both of his teammates in Jason Maines and Matthew Baker. So that's going to be a strong group of guys to try to beat tonight. And how's everybody doing tonight? Let me know. We had we had a busy night. Didn't get to interact with some of you guys as much as we like normally doing. I'm glad everybody came out. Don't forget, if you like what you're watching, go ahead and leave us a like. And if you're new here, give us a follow. Ghost Racing Network continuing to grow. But I want to talk about this series that we got going on tonight here. The Ron Morris Jr. has started. This is a pretty cool series. It's called Tuesday Night Thunder. And we can actually head over to the advertisement announcement real quick. Give me one sec to head over. And here we go. You see it right there. It started today, February 7th. It's going to be the Xfinity cars every race at either Daytona or Talladega. 40 laps, 100% fuel, unlimited tires, 1 fast repair. It looks like 60 laps, Stage break after lap 25. So the format a little bit different tonight. We'll let you know once we get into the race info how many laps. But there is payouts weekly, and tonight it is a top 5 payout. But you see it there. There's going to be a points champion prize. Looks like $600 along with amount added to the championship race, which will be $1,800. And I just realized I look like a clown right now with the track map up here right in everybody's face. Can't even see the screen. But yeah, this is exciting here. This is something some of the promoters trying out, a little bit of a new thing. And we're looking to see if it works out. Let's go back live. Drivers, I believe, are taking the grid now. I think qualifying just finished up. We can actually see here. Nope, qualifying does have 2 minutes left. But it does look like every driver has qualified except Ken McCall Jr., so we're just going to have to wait these 2 minutes out. We will turn the sound on, so we're going to go to intermission here just real quick so everybody can hear. There we go. And normally be a lot more organized here coming into the broadcast tonight. Ron Morris did push it back, though, so we could still get it live here on Ghost Racing Network for you all. I'll tell you what, 18-car field. It's a Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. That's a pretty strong showing, so that means it is going to be over half payout based off what it was showing earlier. We got a couple different guys in here mixed with a couple of the regulars. You got some of the powerhouse like Matthew Baker, Jason, and Garrett Maines. They're going to be trying to get the win, but you also have some of these newer guys such as the Team PGR that are going to try to steal it. And the more cars you have, the better at these super speedway tracks. Got about a minute here and 20 seconds left in qualifying. Well, let's go ahead and put something up. See what you guys think here. We'll put up a, let's try. See what you guys think about that. Get your answers in here. We'll post the responses before the race starts. 48 seconds left in qualifying. Daryl Young, one of the drivers in here, says, I'm not losing this race, Austin. Well, starting yourself 7th on the board, Daryl, so I certainly wouldn't count you out of it. We are going to take a short, quick ad break here real quick while qualifying finishes up so I can go grab something and really be ready to go here. Stick with us. And we are back live here at Talladega Superspeedway for Tuesday Night Thunder RMR Money Racing style. It's going to be a 60-lap event tonight. And let's go through your starting grid. Starting on the pole tonight, Mr. Jeff Merck got himself the pole. Starting on his outside, it's going to be Matthew Baker. 3rd place, Ian Martin. 4th, David Sheets. That's McCall Motorsports driver. 5th, Garrett Maines. And rounding out row 3 is Sean Hill on the outside. 7th is going to go to Daryl Young, who said he's not losing this race. 8th, Jason Maines. 9th place is going to be Brandon Broadfoot. To his outside, Danny Esselman. 11th, Cameron Romano. 12th, Michael Triscaro. 13th, Mike Davenport. 14th, Mark Vondell. 15th is going to be Curtis Rogers. 16th, Jeremy Osborne. 17th, Ron Morris Jr. And 18th, Ken McCall Jr. And that is going to round out the field for an 18-car field tonight. Nothing to complain about. This is going to be a good race here. They will not be able to make it all the way on fuel. Even at 100%, they are going to have to make a pit stop, of course. But we might see some yellows in between them to break it up. Fuel may not be a factor. Duck Duck Goose in the chat says, you guys have been busy lately. Boy, isn't that the truth. But business is good. Glad to be making any kind of side money we can. We got some more exciting things coming up. I had an idea that I was throwing around with Bryce the other day about a race where we could actually give back to some of you guys. I guess since if you're watching, you can get the first insight on it here. Something, again, this is just kind of in the works. Haven't really thought it all out yet, but we were thinking something about setting up a link for donations, and once that donation hit a certain amount, we would host a race where anybody that was subscribed to the channel or watching the broadcast on the day of this event that I'm about to tell you, we'd host a race, and you'd have, like, so let's just say theoretically we did $50, right? Eventually, once we hit that $50 donation goal, we'd host a race, and if you're subscribed to the channel or if you're just somebody that's watching that night, you can get yourself in on the race, free entry, and we would give 100% of that money back to the drivers, make payout positions or something, just something in the works. Looks like we do have Matthew Baker's moment here. Says, come on, Baker. It's going to be a tough one to beat tonight. Seems like every race he is in these super speedways, he ends up front somewhere. David Sheets, though, going to be waiting on a couple of his teammates. He does have Mark Vondell, Ron Morris Jr., and Ken McCall Jr. Some McCall Motorsports fielding 4 cars tonight from what it looks like. They're going to be a strong bet as well. Autumn Koga rooting for Jason Maines, it looks like. Maybe both of the Maines, not sure. We are going to be going green this time. Let's take a look real quick at your race info. We are at Talladega Superspeedway. 2.66 miles Superspeedway oval. Wind not going to be a factor today. Partly cloudy. Nice cool weather outside. And we are in the Xfinity Series. Just was doing a race in the next gens. And it's such a different type of racing here when you get to the Xfinity from those next gens. And these cars that these guys are in now, it's not so much of a huge hit as it is you'll just kind of slightly lock onto the bumper of the car in front of you, and then you'll really put the throttle to the floor. Try to make as much progress as you can. You can't really push in the turns. You can maybe give slight bumps. But pushing in the turns here is a recipe for the big one, which I'm sure we will see at some point or another. Field working their way down the short chute into the tri-oval. Pace car pulls off. He's ready to go. It's the first race of Tuesday Night Thunder. Who can start it off with a bang? Jeff Merck, Matthew Baker, Ian Martin, David Sheets. Green flag is out. We're racing at Talladega. Ooh, Ian Martin looked like he got a little bit of the not such a good restart. Up front, though, it's a dead heat. Matthew Baker trying to get in front of Jeff Merck as quick as he can. He's going to have some help from David Sheets and Sean Hills in this race. Didn't really notice that for whatever reason, so that's actually a 5th McCall Motorsports car. Down the backstretch, though, here's where all the momentum is going to carry on that outside line. Matthew Baker's going to get clear easily. It's going to have to be on this lap right here. Ian Martin on his bumper. Looks like Jeff Merck. Sorry, not Ian Martin, rather. Ian Martin on the bottom. David Sheets on Matthew Baker's bumper. That bottom wasn't really lined up too well. And you saw Matthew Baker look like he might have got clear for just a second. Decides not to drop down, though, for the time. Maybe likes his pusher and David Sheets up top. And I don't know if we'll see too much 3-wide action early here. As with that pit stop, usually you just want to find your teammates, line up, and try to stay as close to the front as you can. And then after that pit stop, the race will be on. Looks like Matthew Baker is going to take lap 1 of 60 here tonight. Let's look a little farther back. See who we got all back here. Looks like everyone did make it into the race. Ken McCall Jr. currently sitting here in the back. He's just watching right now, seeing what he likes to see. Everybody in check, 2 wide, nothing too crazy. Then you got Ron Morris Jr., Jeremy Osborne. About Mark Vondell. Mark due for a win here. Call Motorsports driver, always running strong there at the end. Sometimes just doesn't work out. Curtis Rogers, Team PGR driver. About Cameron Romano. Haven't seen Cameron out here in any of these money races. This is the first time I've seen this driver. So we'll be wishing the best of the luck to the 45 car tonight. See if he can get himself some money. About Michael Triscaro, another Team PGR driver, owner of PGR. He's putting a race on Thursday. Make sure you go check that out. Danny Eshelman up here in the 6 car running 10th. Jason Maines 9th. But back up front, it's still Jeff Merck. Matthew Baker has fallen to 2nd on the outside. Ian Martin now the lead car. You see it looks like the 81, or sorry, is that the 18 rather, of Garrett Maines? Yep. I don't think I've ever seen Garrett out here in the Xfinity Series. So this car kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But Garrett, that's a good pusher to have behind you. Jeff Merck should feel pretty secure right now, keeping the lead with that 18 car behind him. And then they got another 18 car just to confuse you a little bit more behind them. That's Darrell Young, driver in here watching now. He said he was going to get the win. We'll see what happens. You see how close these guys are running in the draft. Xfinity cars not quite as fast as the next gens, but they definitely handle a lot better. If we go green all the way, let's just say theoretically, I'm not sure if we will, but if we were to go green all the way, these guys, that green flag pit stop, usually in these money races, we see they like to pit early, beginning of that fuel window, which I think these cars can make somewhere between 35 and 40 laps on a tank of gas at 100%. So that makes me think once we have about 35 to 40 to go, so somewhere between lap 10 and 15 is where we might start seeing pit stops. You got to make sure you're clean on your pit stop, because if you're not, it can ruin your whole race. You're not guaranteed a caution if you wreck off the track. And Ian Martin with Matthew Baker on his bumper. I think Baker might be trying to get that 98 clear. It's going to be hard. He's got his teammate of Garrett Maines to his inside. Both really good pushers. Haven't seen anybody think about any three-wide action yet. Brandon Broadfoot in the 24 on the inside here, having a solid run. That's Jason Maines in the 11 behind him. And I don't know if it's something to do with the fact that it is a weekday or if something's changed, but you guys watch these same races I do. These guys are being really, really calm right now. We've seen pushing in the front too, but besides that, I haven't seen a lot of bumping. Haven't really seen too many close calls. And we haven't seen any three-wide yet. There is no three-wide rule in RMR or the Tuesday Night Thunder Series in general. This is why sometimes having that pit stop in here could be good. If we just had a 20-lap shootout right now, this two-wide, pretty calm action would not be the case. But after that pit stop's over, that's when the race is on. You got to make sure you try to stick with the leaders during your pit stop, though. You got to get in clean and get out clean. If you lose any time on pit road, that can cost you your race. You don't want to have to sit on a caution, because then there may be a chance that one doesn't come out. Let's give a shout out, though, to the man putting this event on, Ron Morris Jr., McCall Motorsports driver, RMR owner. Running back here in 13th right now. Biding his time. Wait until we get a little bit closer to the end. Mike Davenport to his inside in the 55, another Team PGR driver. We have a pretty good spread of teams tonight. You got McCall Motorsports with 5 drivers in the field. You have those 3 guys of Matthew Baker, Jason Maines, and Garrett Maines. Those are teammates. And you also have the new team of Team PGR, which is Mike Davenport, Curtis Rogers, who did have someone rooting for him in the chat. Not sure if they're still here, but Curtis definitely doing everything he can tonight. Let's go give Curtis a shout out, actually. Curtis, see if we can find him here. Curtis currently running in 15th in the Hooter 65 machine. Hometown Citrus Springs, Florida, rather. Duck Duck Goose says it's going to be a great series. A lot of good drivers out there. Absolutely. This has been the case. We're seeing a lot of these really great money series popping up. How about Jimmy Crow's Dash for Cash series? We saw 4-wide racing during our last broadcast as Ian Martin jumps down to the bottom lane. That's going to open it up to Matthew Baker up top. He'll be pushed by David Sheets. Nope, Jeff Merck having none of it. Jumps right to the top lane once Ian jumps down. And this pretty much just switched the 2 leaders. You had the 98 on the outside, the 60 on the inside. They're going to swap places, keep the same pushers. Back real quick to that Jimmy Crow's Dash for Cash series, which we broadcasted last Saturday. Those guys were going 4 wide for over 5 laps at the end. Just absolutely phenomenal racing, as we're seeing so far tonight. We've only completed 8 of the 60 laps so far. How about a Tuesday Night Thunder? Crank it up. Here we go. we'll do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. Hope everybody did enjoy that. Up front, it's still Ian Martin and Jeff Merck. Second row is made up of Garrett Maines and Matthew Baker. Rounding out the top 5, Jason Maines. He's creeped his way up here behind his teammate and son, Garrett Maines. And these cars starting to dance around just a little bit. Not too bad, but good thing here is we still have everybody in the main pack and everyone is on track. 18 of 18 cars all on the lead lap in the main pack. Nobody had any issues yet. Love to see it. Looks like we might see a little bit of 3-wide action further back. They're thinking about it. Looks like Mike Davenport, Ken McCall Jr. is going to try to get up here in the mix. And this is Team PGR, being led by Michael Triscaro in the 34 car. They're going to try to make their presence known here on lap 11. They're going to have to link up a little tighter than that, though, if they want to get it going on that third lane. You know what? Can't help myself. I got to do it. How about we take a look real quick? The right rear of this car. Ooh, and what's that there right behind the wheel? I know you guys see it. Love to see it. Nice paint scheme there from Michael Triscaro. Let's go back live, though, now where Ian Martin, Giant Ratter, Timberlake, North Carolina, still holding the lead. To his outside is still Jeff Merck. That third lane going to try to get going again. We'll see who follows. Looks like Ken McCall Jr. going to go with him. That's a good guy to have in front of you. That's a veteran. Oh, he got one touch in the wall. That's the 65. Curtis Rogers should be okay. Call Motorsports driver couldn't find a teammate, so he's going to hop right in front of this freight train coming on the outside line. A decent pusher there, and Michael Triscaro behind him. We'll see how much progress they can make. I think we are in that pit window potentially. And David Sheets and Sean Hill, those are two McCall Motorsports drivers, so no shock that they jumped to the outside. They knew they had Ken McCall Jr. coming up behind him. Daryl Young, though, able to get right in between them. Now he's going to jump back to the low side. Ken McCall Jr. trying to get around the 18. But up top, here comes David Sheets. He's getting a push from Sean Hill in the 3. 3 by 3 here on lap 13 down the backstretch. The 98 still has the advantage. That top lane has like twice the cars, though, as the middle. That's a little surprising. Usually people only get in that top lane if they really want to go, and that means a lot of these drivers are ready to go right now. Jeff Merck, though, still has a strong pusher in Matthew Baker, Daryl Young, both behind him. And that inside, Garrett Maines, Jason Maines, those two not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And we'll see how long they go 3 wide. Pit stops can't be too shortly, because when these guys start going 3 wide like this, that middle and top lane would not be able to get to pit road. Oh, we got one touch hole again. I think that was Curtis Rogers again. David Sheets trying to get clear, though. If he can, I think he'll drop down to that middle lane. We've seen McCall Motorsports kind of work this stuff before, and that's 3 of them lined up on the outside. Now they're just looking for Mark Vondell, the 59, the last car on the inside right now. The 24, on the other hand, he wants no part of what he's seeing right now. Jumps right to the back. That's Brandon Broadfoot. Going to get back on track up front. That outside starting to fade just a little bit. But what I was going to say is if McCall Motorsports, we've seen them kind of doing this, and a couple of the teams doing this rather, not just McCall Motorsports. What you want to do is you get your team out in front, and then you try to spread them out. So let's say David Sheets would have got clear. He now has to deal with Daryl Young, who's jumped to that top lane. The 18 is going to try to take the lead. He told us he was not losing this race when we joined in. Right now he's trying to hold that true. But let's say that 06 got to the front. So what he would do is drop down to that middle or low line. And then Ken McCall Jr. would try to push his teammate, the 3. If they got clear, then the 3 would drop to the middle line. And then Ken trying to take up that outside line. That is the goal. It's not always that easy. Usually, actually, not that easy. But that's the ultimate goal of doing that. If you can get everybody in your team in the money, it's a good night for sure. But Ian Martin and Jeff Merck, they have not went anywhere since they took the lead. Thought maybe when Jeff Merck jumped back up to the top, Matthew Baker would get him clear as he did with Ian Martin, but not been the case. And we are seeing a lot of different drivers jump to these outside lane. Now we're going to see Cameron Romano, the rookie out here. He's going to try to get himself in some money. Good push by Daryl Young in the short shoot to that outside line, but those two bottom just really hard to get anything going when you have Jason Maines, Garrett Maines lined up on the bottom, and Matthew Baker later in this race. Those 3, they'll try to find each other, and they'll make a third, if even a 4th lane if they have to, and go all the way to the front. Baker's mom says, love the 3 wide. Be safe, boys. Absolutely. This is great racing as long as they keep it together. We know how sometimes it can just take one bobble, one mistake, pile up the whole field. They do have a fast repair to use if they need it, but you want to save that till the end. Autumn Koger says Maines is making his way through the field. Still 3x3. The tri-oval, a lot of people don't think of it. I think the tri-oval is actually the sketchiest place on the track when these guys are 3 wide because there's bumps on the bottom. And those bumps usually make the guys wiggle up the track a little bit. That causes the middle to wiggle up. Oh, we got one turned around in the pack. That's David Sheets down into Michael Triscaro. Caution is out. Michael Triscaro's around. David Sheets, did he save it? Oh, he did. What a save from the 06. You can't do that here. He's got a little bit of damage on the left rear. But he's got to be more excited about that save he just made. Oh, my goodness. Let's see what happened here. Caution is out. First one of the night. And these guys may have just gotten the biggest break you'll ever get at a track like this. Let's see what happens here. In the turn here, it looks like David Sheets washes up. Oh, and his teammate behind him makes contact, turns him around. That sends the 06 down into the 34. But watch the job these two keeping it together. That kind of helps David Sheets straighten it out. But either way, a nice save from the 06. And then how about the 34 down here? Michael Triscaro gets in the grass. Look at this. Straightens this thing out. He's going to slide back up on the apron. You think maybe he's going to come right back up into the 59. But he doesn't. Nice piece of driving from both of these drivers. Let's take a ride on board, though, with Sean Hill. Maybe see if we can see what happens here. Maybe just a little checkup caught Sean off guard a little bit. Let's see here. Sean is Alex, by the way. You might hear me refer to him as Alex or Sean throughout the race. Let's listen and ride on board here. Here we go. Oh, that one's going to sting. Wasn't trying to. Maybe just got caught in that tunnel vision. But either way, spun his teammate around. Thankfully, though, for David Sheets, driver out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, I don't think he's going to have to use a fast repair on that. Very limited damage, and it's in the back. Best place to have it. Sometimes when that damage is up front, you have to worry about maybe it being engine damage. Shouldn't be the case, though. A lot of times, just a little bit of air on the back doesn't really even affect your speed. We're going to have a lot of drivers pit here, as I think they are in the fuel window. Let's check out pit road. Should be a pretty busy place. Sure enough, we do have one driver that stayed out. A little surprised. It's Ian Martin. The only thing I can think here is that Ian is maybe going to go ahead and just wait and go next lap so he can have a little bit of extra fuel than the rest of the field. No way he stays out here. I wouldn't think. Definitely would surprise me if he did. Let's see who wins the battle off pit road, though. Jeff Merck let him in. We'll see if he can lead him out. It looks like, no, Garrett Maines is going to win the race off pit road. Then Jeff Merck, Matthew Baker, Ian Martin, the 6, Danny Eshelman, Sean Hill, Ken McCall Jr., Darrell Young, 65. The 7, we haven't talked about those guys too much. Just give him a shout out. The 7 is Jeremy Osborne. Good to see Jeremy in here. One of the drivers that's in pretty much every money race that I see. Let's talk about your top 5 real quick. First place, still Ian Martin in the 98 Toyota Supra. Second is Garrett Maines. Third, Jeff Merck. Fourth, Matthew Baker. And rounding out the top 5 is Jason Maines. And this is a dangerous 3 guys to have in the top 3. Garrett, Jason, and Matthew. Those 2, if they find each other, you better watch out. Danny Eshelman just outside the top 5. Sean Hill involved in that last 10. How about Ken McCall Jr.? He's up here. Adam Koger says, I miss being in the booth. It is always fun being up here. OSR days. You know, Adam did some co-commentating races. Those were fun. Absolutely. And now it's going to be 40 laps to go here. So, you know, I think actually Ian Martin may be the smarter driver here because they're not taking the green this time. Let's see if the 98 decides to come down. And I think you might get a couple people to follow him as well. Let's watch it here. And then I'll talk about what I was just going to say. Because I was doing my math a little wrong earlier, so I do apologize for that. They would have not actually came into pit till about 15 to 20. More like 20 to 25, actually, to be conservative. So they would have, if we stayed green, we would have saw some of our first pit stops, probably somewhere between 20 to 25, maybe 20 to 30. Ian Martin doesn't pit, so what this must mean is he must not think they're good, but you saw it right there. Ken McCall Jr. and Darrell Young coming down pit road to top off. So maybe I have my fuel number mixed up. I don't know anymore, but from what I saw on the posters, 100% fuel, that should be between 35 and 40 laps. And if you save in the draft, I would think you can make it from here. So I'm not sure why Ian Martin didn't go in. Definitely a little surprised by that move, but you might be thinking we're going to get some more cautions as I think action is getting ready to pick up. We're 10 laps from halfway. If we do get another caution at this point, then they would 100% all pit and be in their fuel window. Some of them maybe even not pit because they'd be able to make it on fuel from just saving from that caution. 60th Jeff Merck on the inside. That second row. On the outside is going to be Matthew Baker. Matthew Baker has got his teammate right in front of him. Jason Maines also maybe going to try to get up to that top row. And if those three can line up in the top row, good luck getting by them. Autumn Koger says 45 laps in Xfinity. Okay. I thought it was more like 40, but that could be right. I do not have a fuel calculator with me. If you're Ian Martin here, what do? Do you try to go to that top lane, hold off those teammates? I don't think you do because I think they would take him 3 wide. Just going to have to hope that Jeff Merck can keep him out in front as long as he can. And if you're Garrett Maines, if you get clear, do you go low or do you stay up top with your teammate? How about Danny Esterman currently running in 6th, third car on that top line. Danny having a good run tonight. Looks like Sean Hill had a little bit of damage in the back of that car involved in that last sentence. Let's take a look real quick at David Sheets, see how he fared out of this. Starting in the back, makes me think he decided to come down and repair that damage. I believe he did. Looks like it. Doesn't look like he used a fast repair because I see the left side dented just a little bit. It's going to be lined up here behind his teammate Ken McCall Jr. Mark Von Dell, a couple cars in front of them, so when they're ready to go, they'll be able to. Pace car pulls off the track. Starter's got the flag in hand. Ian Martin looking to get a good jump. He's hoping Jeff Merck can follow in suit. Garrett Maines, Matthew Baker going to try to take the lead on the backstretch. We'll see who can do it. We're back green at Tuesday Night Thunder. Ron Morris Jr. further back. You saw him get a pretty good restart, but up front, Ian Martin gets the jump. Jeff Merck with a really not so good restart. Ian's going to have to go high here, try to block. Yellow flag back out. Not sure why here. This is a little interesting. This is a little interesting here. Not sure why the yellow flag came out. Unless it's a competition caution or something. Or if somebody messed up a race. Let's see. I don't think we missed anything. It sure didn't look like anything happened. Take a look here throughout the field. See if we can see anything at all. Definitely doesn't look like it. They were all pretty spread out. Maybe that could have been something. Not sure, but definitely an interesting caution. Let's go back live. Your top 5 is still the exact same. Nothing really changed there. Actually, Jeff Merck did fall back a position. Matthew Baker moved up a position. At least for now, we'll see if they play there. So I think we might see some more drivers come down pit road here. It is the second caution of the night. Drivers catching up to the pace car now. We're going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Stay with us. saw it there first. First of all, I guess, welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Pit road, a busy place. And we had a stage break here or competition caution. Everybody is going to be good on fuel now, so the real race is going to be on. No more sitting in line and waiting. It's go time. Let's go back up front where the top 5 has shaken up a little bit from this. Brandon Broadfoot, Team PGR driver, currently leading. Second, Mike Davenport, another Team PGR driver. Third, Michael Troscaro, another Team PGR driver. Fourth is Cameron Romano, and rounding out the top 5 is Garrett Maines. Did put a poll out earlier about if you guys thought we'd go green all the way. 60% of you said yes, so you guys were wrong tonight. I'm just playing, of course, but we did have one caution. This caution wasn't for any incident. The second one, that is. But it is a stage break. And I think we'll go green next time. The pace car lights are still on. And that'll be 21 out of the 60 laps once we get this thing going again. So still going to be just under 40 laps of green flag racing, hopefully. And everybody is still on the lead lap. And up here, I don't think anyone has had to use their fast repair just yet. Duck Duck Goose says being hopeful. Absolutely, always good to be optimistic about this sort of thing. Going green the rest of the way, I'm assuming that is. See if anyone decides to come down pit road. I think if I'm at the back of this pack, just as we're going to see Ian Martin do here, I like this choice a lot by Ian. Excuse me, but looks like Mark Vondell, Ian Martin, and that might be Ken McCall Jr. Yep, sure enough. All these drivers going to come down pit road. I like this idea because you're in the back, right? What do you have to lose? Get yourself a little extra fuel in case we go into overtimes late. Get yourself some tires. And I don't know. I don't know who I think's going to win this tonight. Looks like Sean Doyle's in here. Says, let's go, Mike. Got a Mike Davenport fan. He's starting second. He's looking pretty good right now. Good looking 55 paint schemes. Got the PGR on the hood. This group formed up pretty quick, I guess. I didn't realize that all these guys were on Team PGR. But sure enough, I think they're going to try to work together here. Michael Troscaro is going to try to keep his teammate out in front, while the other teammate, 55 of Mike Davenport, is going to try to hold everybody at bay up top. I don't know how long that's going to last, though, because you got Matthew Baker back here, Garrett Maines, and Jason Maines. Those three, they're ready to go. They are going to go right from the drop of the green. Sean Hill, a little bit of damage there, but with no 3-wide rule, if those three can find each other, they will march right around the field on the top line. How about Brandon Broadfoot, though, in general? Kind of new to the money racing scene. Saw him in the last couple. And here he is leading at Talladega Superspeedway. We are not even halfway just yet. If you're just tuning in, you haven't missed too much. We had one caution for an incident involving David Sheets and Michael Troscaro. Fortunately, both of them did a great job saving the car. Neither of them suffered much damage. Stayed on the lead lap. Didn't have to waste a fast repair. Matter of fact, all 18 cars still on the lead lap. You're watching Tuesday Night Thunder. RMR Money Racing style. Payouts on the line tonight. Points for a payout at the end of the season as well. Broadfoot rolls into the Geico restart zone through the tri-oval here. Good thing about having teammates up there, sometimes you can organize it so he can have the 34 on his bumper right away. Green flag is back out. Oh no, Michael Troscaro maybe misses a shift. No, actually this is coordinated. You saw it right there. Lets the 55 down. That's going to put Cameron Romano up top, being pushed by Matthew Baker. They got to be careful here. Matthew Baker. Oh, there goes Garrett Maines, Jeff Merck, and Jason Maines. That's an intimidating looking group to get up top all at once. Matthew Baker is going to give a huge push to the 45 down the back stretch here. Here comes the top. Matthew Baker wasted no time, though. Jumps 3 wide. Romano's going to have to go to the back. He gets put right in the middle. We'll see if he can get any help before he falls all the way back. Up front now, Matthew Baker takes the lead. Try to bring teammate Garrett Maines with them. Sure enough, he does. Will they drop to the bottom? They do. That opens it up to Jeff Merck on the top. Jason Maines going to be pushing him. Just as they wanted to play out. Didn't play out so well, though, for Team PGR. They fell back multiple spots. Tried to coordinate a restart. Didn't work out so well. Jason Maines now going to try to get Jeff Merck up there to the front. What does Jason do here? Does he try to get Jeff Merck all the way to the front, or does he maybe just try to kind of hold him at bay here? He's got two of his teammates on the inside. He's running in a pretty good fourth right now. Maybe keep everybody at bay until we get closer to the end of this thing. And then he could really try to go for it. Sean Hill, though, on that outside, the 3 car is probably looking for some of his McCall Motorsports teammates. You can find one of them, Ken McCall Jr. in the back, Mark Vondell, and David Sheets slowly creeping back up through the field. On the outside. Oh, the 7's out of shape. Can he keep it together? He's still wiggling. That's Jeremy Osborne. Oh, he does. Nice save there. Ooh, boy, that got real close for a second, didn't it? I thought they were going to lose it. We've seen 3 wide tonight with no issues. Just like that. 2 wide. Almost saw a caution. Jason Maines gets a really good push right here to Jeff Merck. Don't know if he's going to quite get clear. He can't quite do it into turn 1. Yeah, I'm telling you, those 2 on the inside of Matthew Baker and Garrett Maines, excuse me, they're going to be a hard duo to pass. Garrett just knows so much about what he's doing in the Coca-Cola Series. He knows he doesn't have to necessarily stay locked onto his teammate's bumper to stay out in front. He'll give him little bumps when he needs to. But Jason Maines having none of it. None of it. Gets Jeff Merck clear. Oh, wow. I thought Jeff would definitely drop down low there. Decides not to. Maybe that's part of the reason Garrett isn't being as aggressive as he has to right now. Looks like Baker's mom giving us a little insight here. Says he will help Merck, I think. Okay, so Jason Maines, Jeff Merck, maybe working together. Maybe a little bit of an alliance with those 3 teammates and the 60. We have completed 28 laps. We are almost at the halfway mark. 45 got on the apron there. Got to be careful. You touch that apron in the corner and get really dicey. Sean Hill being behind Jason. Those 2, not exactly the best of friends. That 11's gotten turned by that 3 car a couple times. Roles have also been reversed a couple times. Moral of the day, those 2 probably not the happiest to be running right next to each other. Baker's mom says working to control the lanes. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking here. Especially with seeing Jeff Merck not drop down low. I think they got 4, we'll say teammates. We'll call Jeff Merck a teammate for now. Let's just say that. They got 4 teammates up here right now. No point in trying to get them all on the bottom if you can split them up. So right now, let's just say they go green the rest of the way. They have a better shot at getting all 4 of them in the money. If anybody wants a chance at it, they're saying, hey, you're going to have to go 3 wide up top if you want to get by us. We'll see who decides to make that move first. I think maybe we'll tick off some more laps before anybody tries to do anything. But Ron Morris Jr. now only 1 car. Danny Eshelman separating him and his teammate Sean Hill. So I think we'll see those 2 link up. And then David Sheets here. There's kind of a second pack right now. And let's actually show you the track map so you can kind of see. See how there's that little gap between that main pack and the second pack? Everybody is still together. They still... Oh, actually, it looks like maybe they're just outside the draft, so they really do need to line up here before they somehow accidentally lose it. Michael Triscaro falling back. Let's see the gap between the leader of this pack, which is Ian Martin. The gap is 2.2 in closing, so they are making progress, but yeah, they really shouldn't be racing right now if they want to catch up to that lead pack. The main pack being 2x2 is going to help them. But that's really risky to be getting that far back this early. You want to stay with that lead pack. If these guys were to line up single file right now, there's a chance that that backpack may not be able to catch them. Now Jeff Merck drops to the bottom. That puts Jason Maines in charge up top. Maybe starting to get a little toasty under the hood. Matthew Baker, though, is going to jump right up in front. He's going to try to get around Jeff Merck as soon as he can. He's going to have help from his teammate, Jason Maines. Sean Hill just kind of watching it all play out. Not getting too close right now. If Matthew Baker gets clear, what does he decide to do? Does he drop to the bottom or does he stay in that middle, try to control that lane? We are in the mid-stretch of the race right now. Sometimes these are the laps where you just got to get them ticked off. Not the case tonight, though. The action's staying exciting. Even on lap 31 here. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we got 29 laps to go still. These guys still battling for the lead like we're on 5 to go. And let's watch here. Watch how close Jason Maines will get to his teammate if he wants to here. Watch how slow he gets up there. 5, just a slight movement. When Matthew Baker gets a bump from his teammate, lays off of him here in the tribal. He knows you can't push in the tribal. But then as soon as they get to that short chute, there he is right back on the bumper of that 5 car. Garrett Maines not so much on the bumper of Jeff Merck. Just kind of using the air right now to push. Doesn't necessarily feel the need to just yet. And let's see if this backpack has caught up just yet. Being led by Ian Martin. Sure enough, here they are. At least 3 of them. Ian Martin, Darrell Young, and Ken McCall Jr. They have all caught up. I think a little farther. And they're actually going to try to go make a run. A little farther back. Some of these people weren't able to hang on. Not sure what exactly they were doing. Usually not too big of an issue, but Michael Triscaro back here running by himself. Jeremy Osborne by himself. David Sheets and Mark Von Dell. So not sure what happened to those guys. But up front now, we're going to see 3 wide. Here comes Ian Martin on the outside. He's got Darrell Young and Ken McCall Jr. all wanting to go to the front. Now the 76, Ron Morris Jr. is going to join the charge on the top. And I don't know, man. 3 by 3. We still got 27 laps to go. Can they make it if they start doing this for the next 27? Oh, looks like Darrell Young taps the wall. Keeps himself together. Ken McCall Jr. now going to duck down to the middle line. Gets behind his teammate Sean Hill. Maybe didn't like what he saw out of that 18 up top. Or maybe just trying to line up with his teammates. If Ron Morris Jr. can get in line behind him, that'd be 3 of those teammates from McCall Motorsports ready to go. Jeff Merck still leading the charge, though. Your current top 5 as it runs is Jeff Merck first, Garrett Maines second, Matthew Baker third, fourth, Jason Maines, and fifth, Cameron Romano in the 45 car. And I feel like I haven't given Cameron enough credit tonight. Remember, this is a rookie. And by rookie, I don't mean he's new to the game. I mean he's new to this money racing scene, at least over at RMR. I haven't seen him before. And here he is running top 5 with some of the big hitters. I mean, right in front of him is a Coca-Cola Series driver. World-class license. And Garrett Maines, there he is right behind him. Just something to think about. I know we sometimes take it for granted. A lot of these guys do some impressive stuff out here. And always cool to see. That third lane with Ian Martin and Darrell Young has all of a sudden lost its help. Looks like they might get some, though, from Danny Eshelman in the 6. Now Sean Hill and his teammate Ken McCall Jr. jump into that top lane. Ron Morris Jr. is going to follow. Here comes McCall Motorsports up top. Will Matthew Baker try to block it? He doesn't. He's going to stay in the middle. Side by side through turn 1, 2. And I'll tell you what, I have lost my voice from doing 2 broadcasts tonight. You're going to need a day to recover. But up top, big push from the 03. You see it there. Front end of the 03 wiggling around. The back end of the 3 wiggling around. Ken McCall Jr. sticking it to his teammate right now. Matthew Baker clear the low lane. Don't think he'll drop down there, though, as that might open the top up to the middle lane. Trying to keep teammates together, though. If you got Jason Maines behind you, why would you want to go to the bottom? That's a secure driver to have on your bumper. .60 of Jeff Merck. Really strong showing from Jeff so far tonight. He's been up front on the bottom. Oh, the 3 got just a little bit out of shape there in the turn. You got to be really careful. Once these tires start to get a little bit older, not as bad as the next gen, but when you get out of shape, it's a lot harder to save it than it is on those new tires. Garrett Maines now going to have to get to the back bumper of Jeff Merck to keep him even with Matthew Baker. Ken McCall Jr. still trying everything he can, but Jason Maines just doing such a nice job laying it to the 5. Just nowhere to go. Oh, now there's some contact between Jason and Ken McCall Jr. Wow, and they keep it together. You don't see that often. That little bump could have caused a huge pileup. Don't know if netcode saved him or what. Or just the fact that they're both such respective drivers, but maybe going to create a little bit more room between each other all of a sudden. There's Bryce watching, letting y'all know now in the chat that we've gained 18 subs in one day. Thank you all so much. It means a lot. Have a ball broadcasting. Love doing it. Love seeing how much you guys enjoy it. Speaking of, if you're enjoying tonight, please give us a like. It helps out a lot. And if you're new here, just give us a follow if you don't mind. Matthew Baker still holding strong in the middle. Sean Hill up top. Ken McCall Jr. might have to back up, though. They made a charge. Sometimes what happens here is you'll make a charge for about 3 to 5 laps, and then your temps are kind of hot, so you'll back off for a little bit, let it slowly cool down. They got plenty of time here with 24 laps to go still. And after those things get cooled off, you'll make another charge at it. But all of a sudden, the middle line, only 2 cars. They're going to need some help down here, or those 2 are probably going to lose the lead. That third lane, you usually need at least 3 cars. Jason Maines is going to have to do a lot more pushing right here to keep his teammate Matthew Baker in the lead. Oh, looks like the 45. That's Cameron Romano on the apron. Can he save it? He does. What a save by the 45. Just got a little bit loose down on the bottom. Up front, somehow, Jason Maines still keeping Matthew Baker in front with only 2 of them. Danny Escherman now going to drop the middle. I was going to say McCall Motorsports up top. He's got to be thinking this is their chance right here. Your temps might be hot, but you got to go right now. There's any time to grab the lead, it's going to be while that middle line only has 2 cars in it. And I'm kind of shocked no one has dropped back down to the middle. That just shows you just how strong they are. Still 3 wide into 1. Let's ride on board here with Ken McCall Jr. down the backstretch as he is going to give everything he's got to his teammate, Sean Hill. Here we go. Oh, wrecking. Oh, no. Huge wreck down the back. The 3's in it. The 03's in it. 76 spins. The 6. Danny Eshelman is involved. Boy, that one almost caught me off guard right as we switched camera views. They all started piling up. 3rd caution of the night with 22 to go. Jeff Merck was your leader. Let's see what brought it out. That one was at absolutely the perfect time. Sure, wasn't it? Oh, this looks like it might be a car coming up. Let's go to, can we see it from TV1 here? Maybe we'll try TV1 first. I think this is going to start somewhere with Ken McCall Jr. Play it slow here for you. You see the 3 is really close. Oh, the 24 washes up off the bottom, gets into the 11. That sends both of them up into the 03. Ken McCall Jr. hits that outside wall pretty hard. Down in 3. Matthew Baker. See, does he? Oh, looks like he did get some rear end damage. Almost saved it. Not quite. 76 spinning now. Is going to come back up. Tags the 6. And then they all just pile up from there. Oh, yeah. Ron Morse Jr. is destroyed. He's going to have to take a fast spare. How about the job, though, right there from Ian Martin in the 98? You saw him swerve by on the right side. Did not see that one coming, but let's watch. I want to take a look at Ian Martin's in-car camera because that was an impressive dodge right there. Let's see what Ian was looking at as he worked his way through this here. We'll look at it from the gyro view. Here we go. This is Ian Martin in the 98. Oh, wow. Boy, that last car was a hard one to dodge. Good heads-up driving there by Ian Martin. Keeps himself from having to potentially use a fast repair. And you just kind of wondered how long could they go 3 wide before a little mistake like this. And actually, we have a lot of drivers coming into the pits here. Didn't really expect to see this one, but we are seeing it. Looks like Bryce asked me to send him his monitor or my monitor settings after the race. You know, that'd be a good question if I could figure out how to do it. I think, hold on, let me check. I might be able to let you know real quick. Just by what I have here for the SDK setup. Oh, actually, no, I'll have to check it later. I'm not sure. But we are going to go green. It's looking like with somewhere around 18 laps to go. Time winding down. If you're some of these drivers in the back, looks like we do have 16 cars on the lead lap. Michael Triscaro maybe gets the lucky dog right here. I'm not sure. And if not, I don't think he would get the wave around, unfortunately. And let's get some reminders in here because these guys, racing action is going to pick up so crazy once we go back green. I don't think we'll have time to do it. First, let's talk about a little bit this series that you're watching tonight, Tuesday Night Thunder. It started tonight. And we'll sum it up a little bit easier there for you so you don't have to read all the poster. Basically, this is a series, same as what we see in these money races, where each race, including tonight, has its own payout and entry fee. Top 5 will be paid out tonight. But it also has a championship points battle. So at the end of the season, the points champion, you see there's $600. And that championship race, from what it seems like, is going to be a huge payout race. You see it there, $1,800 added to that champion race. That is huge. Also, we don't have it up here, but we can remind everybody, if we look right here at the 34 car, Michael Triscaro, PGR has a race on Thursday. He's got his own series starting up. I believe it's called the Intimidator Series. And that was a good series. Had their inaugural race last week. Broadcast here on Ghost Racing Network. That was exciting. This race on Thursday will also be broadcasted by Ghost Racing Network. Very excited for that. Always happy when some of these guys ask us to come broadcast for them. It's just everybody's enjoying it. Best feeling in the world. I don't know about anybody watching, but a lot of these drivers in here tonight, you know what they're getting ready for? The thing that starts tomorrow, that is the Podium 500. The journey to it, rather. And it'll start off tomorrow with the heat races. Some of the guys in here that I know of, at least, is tomorrow I will be in heat. I'm not sure exactly what heat is. I know it starts at 7:45, but in that heat with me will be David Sheets and Jason Maines. We'll see if we can get something going. Hopefully get all three of us locked into the big race. One thing you'd like to see is yourself competing against all the guys you're used to competing in the main race. Everybody working hard, getting ready for it. It is going to be in the next gens. That's something a little different. But Ian Martin here, going to be the leader. Cameron Romano second. David Sheets third. Jeremy Osborne fourth. And Garrett Maines fifth. We got a little three-wide action under caution here. And Michael Triscaro, I'm not sure if he's trying to get a lap back right now or if it's probably telling him to go to the back, actually. Now, he is in the lucky dog position right now. Mike Davenport, unfortunately, still on pit road. That thing's pretty banged up. Might have had to tow or something. But Garrett Maines, Matthew Baker, and Jason Maines are no longer in the front as they were. But let me tell you something. They're going to be up here in no time. You better be ready. If you're anybody in front of them, I'm looking to get in that third lane as soon as I see them make a move. Because you know if you get in front of them, you are going to the front. But you better be able to hold on to that car. But up front right now, Ian Martin in a pretty good spot. Still a decent amount of time. 19 laps around a 2.66 mile oval. It's still a long ways to go. And I don't know if we're done with cautions just yet. But important to note for this 34 car, Michael Triscaro, he needs to be real careful here. No point in racing right now. He is the only one that is a lap down. Doesn't have to worry about racing anyone. So all he needs to do here is sit back, keep the draft, but stay way back here so he doesn't have to worry about accidentally getting involved in a wreck here. So remember, if you get even a scrape on your car in the wreck here in iRacing, it won't give you the lucky dog. We'll keep an eye on it. But Ian Martin has got the field in tow. He's ready to go. Pace car pulls off. Field now crawling into the tri-oval, approaching the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out. 18 laps to go at Talladega. 98 gets another good jump. We have not seen the second and third row get good restarts so far tonight. And we're going to take a little bit of a wider shot, and I'll tell you why, because I think we're going to see that third lane form up real quick. Matthew Baker and Garrett Maines on the inside. They're going to go right by this 45 and then jump high. 45, Cameron Romano doing everything right, just can't get any help so far tonight. Garrett Maines jumps high, isn't going to be able to bring his teammate with him. The 45 is going to have to push. Down the backstretch, that outside line can't get clear, but oh, Garrett Maines got really wiggly. David Sheets second on the inside, going to try to keep Ian Martin out in front for 17 more laps once we hit the line this time. Further back, we see Sean Hill already trying to go 3 wide. He's trying to get around the 65 of Curtis Rogers. Do have someone rooting for Jeremy Osborne in the chat. Jeremy currently that third bright yellow 7 on the outside. Currently in 6th. Top 5 is the payout tonight. he is just outside of it, but Sean Hill's trying to get it going on that outside, looking for some teammates. He's going to get one, and Ron Morris Jr., Jeremy Osborne also going to jump up to that third lane for the moment. Up front, Garrett trying to get some help from the 45 of Cameron Romano. Not enough. Now Garrett's going to jump to that third lane. Jeremy touches the wall. Jason Maines now with him. That didn't take long for those teammates to find each other. Not quite able to get clear, though. The 45's holding on for dear life, trying not to lose that spot to both. If he can hang there a little bit longer and stay in front of Garrett. Now Matthew Baker, though, jumps to the middle. They are 3 by 3, about 4 rows deep. You got Matthew Baker in the middle, Ian Martin on the bottom, and Garrett Maines up top. And I think if they can now, if Garrett can get up there, we might see Matthew Baker try to drop to the bottom. Garrett dropped to the middle. Oh, and actually, Garrett's going to get in front of his teammate. What does he decide to do here? He's clear in the middle if he wants it. Looks like Ian has lost his help all of a sudden, and that's going to allow for Jason and Garrett to drop to the middle. Sean Hill going to wait for help now from Jeremy Osborne. That one almost confused me a little bit there. Ian Martin just went from first back to about 5th or 6th. Just lost his help all of a sudden. And up top, Ron Morris Jr., Jeremy Osborne looking for a third car. Sean Hill's got Darrell Young behind him if he wants. And this is the point where you got to kind of forget about your teammates if you're further back and just find the person that wants to go the most. But look how quick the 3 teammates of Garrett, Jason, and Matthew all got up to the front. And they really do need a team name. I'm surprised they don't have one yet. We see them working together every race that they're all together. 3 wide further back, though, with Jeff Merck, who led so much of this race, trying to crawl his way back up to the field now. He's going to have Jeremy Osborne tuck in line behind him. That outside lane's snaking around a lot more than the inside. We still have 16 cars on the lead lap, and you better believe all 16 of them are up here fighting for the money. 10 people are going to go home without any money tonight. Mike Davenport 2 laps down. Looks like he did get it back out on the track, though. Good to see. You never know at the end of these. Actually, 3 laps down, rather. And Michael Triscaro still a lap down. Kind of getting a little racy up here. Don't know if I like this decision from the 34. I really think he needs to just make sure he avoids a wreck more than anything. And the 65 has a little bit of damage. Curtis Rogers on the front end. That might affect him a little bit. I don't think it'll be too bad, though. Especially in draft, as long as it's nothing engine related, which if it was, he probably wouldn't be up here in the draft. Couple people shuffling per position. Ian Martin down to the bottom. Jeff Merck now to the top with Ron Morris Jr. That group could be a really strong duo. They're going to need one more, though, to get all the way to the front. We'll see who goes with them. I think if I'm Sean Hill in that 3 car, I'm thinking about getting to this outside before Darrell Young beats me to it. We're coming to 13 laps to go this time. Matthew Baker still out front. 2nd, Garrett Maines. 3rd, Jason Maines. 4th, Cameron Romano. And 5th, Sean Hill. And the 3 wide action calmed down for a little bit. Everybody maybe going to settle down here. Catch their breath. Not Ron Morris Jr. or Jeremy Osborne jumps right back out of line. They want to get to the front. They don't feel like waiting here. And the 45, Cameron Romano. Feel bad for him a little bit because he's done so good. He's done all the restarts right, just hasn't found any help. And that's the importance of teammates at tracks like these. Doesn't matter how good you are, if you don't have teammates, you're not going to be able to win one of these races usually. We've seen crazy things happen at the end of these. And we're going to be coming to 11 laps to go this time. We might see everybody settle down like this except for the back until we hit maybe 5. Within 5 to go, I think we'll see action picking back up. I can promise you Sean Hill, Darrell Young, Jeff Merck are not happy with where they sit. They're not going to stay there. Ian Martin might even try to make a move on the outside later in the going here. .60 Jeff Merck jumps up top, and you actually see it here. This bottom lane's fading away. All of a sudden, Matthew Baker only has 1 car helping him. That's going to give a chance for this top lane to maybe get clear, but I don't think Garrett Maines is going to drop low. We've seen him get clear a couple times, but this is where you try to manage with your other teammates. If they can hold both lanes, they can get themselves both in the money, and it's less of a battle they'll have to fend off from some of the other drivers. Right now, the only chance anyone has at passing them is going up to that third lane. There goes Ron Morris Jr. Oh, he taps the wall. Got to be careful. The 65, Curtis Rogers, jumped up in front of him. And that's 4 cars, including Michael Triscaro and the 24 up top. .65 Curtis Rogers running a little high. You got to remember, if you're in that third lane, you got to try to side draft the middle in the turns, but they're not able to make any progress. They'll probably try to tuck back in the draft here, I would think, until they can get all the way back up, and then they'll try their move again. What happened, though, to Ken McCall Jr.? That's something I didn't really think about, but I haven't noticed him. Here he is, sitting in the back, sure enough, just waiting around. I think he thinks these guys may not be done wrecking just yet. Danny Eshelman doing the same. Michael Triscaro was trying to get in the mix a couple times. Mike Davenport about to go 4 laps down when they catch him here. But you can see it here when we pull up the track map for you real quick. The field pretty much all together. That one exception is the lap car that they're coming up on of Mike Davenport. Mike had so much promise tonight. Unfortunately, just didn't work out. It's nice to see what he wanted. No worries for him, though. And that bottom lane has fallen back to 2 cars. All of a sudden, Jeff Merck, though, is going to hop down. He's going to have to get there in a hurry, though, if he wants to keep the bottom up in front. Further back, these guys are really dicing it up. You got to be careful here. Make sure they don't accidentally lose the pack. See Mark Vondell dropping down low to get behind Ian Martin in the 98. They're going to organize back out a little bit, but they still got to be careful. This front pack pulling just a little bit of a gap on them. That little bit of a gap can turn into a big gap in a hurry. This top lane maybe going to pull a little bit of draft off Mike Davenport. Don't think it's going to matter, though. He's going to stay high, 3 wide. Very doable at Talladega, but still going to be a little sketchy here when they go around him. But how about Mark Vondell here in the 59? You see him further back. Dyson trying to get a couple spots. Going to try to drop down below and get around the 98 of Ian Martin. Sean Hill's probably saying, Mark, get up here. That is one of his teammates, McCall Motorsports. Eight laps to go this time. If you're further back, you got to start thinking about making moves to get to the front. It's going to be really hard to get by Jason and Garrett on that middle lane. Even Matthew Baker on the bottom. These guys just have it so figured out at these tracks. On sync in pretty much every way you can think of. It's going to take a couple bold drivers such as Daryl Young and Ian Martin. They said, oh, you guys are not getting this thing for free. They're going to go up here, take it 3 wide. I think Sean Hill maybe wanted to get in on it, was just a little late on it. They are going to need a third car, though, to really get up there. You see how close the 45 of Cameron Morano is running right now to the bumper of Matthew Baker. How about Mark Vondell further back? He's going to have his teammate David Sheets. All of a sudden, this pack's starting to tighten up. 3 wide goes back to 2 wide for the moment. Looks like they didn't make any progress. Daryl Young and Ian Martin fell back in line, but I like what they're doing there. This is going to start drawing the attention of some of these other drivers to get going. Mark Vondell, David Sheets, Ron Morse Jr. That's 3 teammates lined up on the bottom. They might try to slowly work their way to the top. It's a matter of time. If you're just joining in, make sure you stay with us here for these final 7 laps because it's going to get wild. Daryl Young jumps back to the outside now. Ian Martin still working with him. And these are 2 drivers, I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think either of them have a team. And they're out here trying to help each other get the win. This is kind of that where you can find teammates in the race. But unfortunately, they have not been able to draw a third car to go up with them now. Now they're going to get the 65 Curtis Rogers. But they both tuck back in line with it. 98 of Ian Martin's going to fall back a couple spots. Tries to hop in front of the 55, Mike Davenport. Mike is a couple laps down, 4 laps down actually, but he could play a role here in the finish of this thing if he wants. I think if I was 4 laps down, knowing you're probably not going to get 5 cautions or whatever it would take to get him back on the lead lap, I think I'm going to go up here and make these guys race for it. Maybe try to help a new person get to the win. Daryl Young in that 18, man, he keeps trying. Just hasn't found any help yet. And we are coming to 5 to go this time. No move yet from the 3. Sean Hill, I think that's where things might start getting a little crazy. I really did think David Sheets, though, Mark Vondel, Ron Morse Jr. would try to find their way to the top lane sooner or later. They haven't yet, though. And I'll tell you what, these 3 right here, I've heard it before from them. You talk about working as a team. They split their winnings. And I kind of like that because that makes you work as a team more. They are one unit right now. You see 3 cars, but you might as well throw a blanket over them. And I think right now they are happy where they are. Not saying we won't see a move from potentially Jason here at the end. Maybe a 3-wide move through the tribal. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they decide to stay where they are. Finish this thing off. Everybody's still holding 2 wide for the moment. 4 laps to go this time. McCall Motorsports, Ken McCall Jr., you know he's going to get up here and try to dice it up. He might be waiting until we hit about 2 to go. Because let me tell you something, this 03, you will see him catch this pack. He will try to make a 3-wide move. Actually, let's ride on board with him just a second here. See if he decides to catch the pack this lap. Remember, if we take the white flag, there will be no more cautions. If we wreck and get a caution before then, we'll rack them up, try it again. You actually hear it, though. Ken is not full throttle. Oh, and there it is. You see one get turned in the middle of the pack. The 59. Let's see if Ken can get through it. Gets it woed up on the apron, spinning down in front of him. That's his teammate David Sheets. Mark Vondel involved. David gets it rolling in the grass now. And if you're wondering why he was sitting back, that's your answer right there. He saw something he didn't like. He knew they were going to wreck sooner or later, and sure enough, they do. And we are going to have an overtime finish. It's going to get crazy, but first, let's see what brought out the 4th caution of the night. So they are through right here. Oh, the 7 is already out of shape here. Not sure what happened to him. He's a little wiggly getting into the turn. This is Jeremy Osborne, so that's where it's going to start. But we'll watch David Sheets here and see if we can still see what happens. See, let's go to TV1 actually. So the 7 coming down the track here. Goes back up. Oh, wow. 7 gets really out of whack. And then the 65 is going to get him to back it up a little bit more so everybody can see that. So you see the 65, that's Curtis Rogers. After the 7 got really out of whack here, wasn't able to slow up in time, gets into him. That sends the 7 down. Oh, shoot. Sorry. So watch this one more time. You see the 7 here. I'm not sure how he got so out of shape. Usually these cars able to handle pretty well. You don't have to worry about that. But then the 65 tags and that finishes him off. Sends him down into Mark Vondel in the 59. Mark spinning. You see David Sheets trying to squeak his way around it here. Oh, just couldn't quite make it. Just clips his teammate Mark Vondel. That sends him up to track the 55. Mike Davenport 4 laps down. Sends him up into the wall hard. Mark Vondel back up into the outside wall. David Sheets, again, looks like maybe gets away with minimal. No, actually not this time because it's on the front left as well. That might be a fast repair for that driver. Zoom it out here. See if anyone else gets involved in this. But we were watching that on board, and you saw Ken McCall Jr. get it woed up. Did a nice job getting through it. And let's go back up front to see where your current top 5 is running. Matthew Baker first, second. Garrett Maines third. Cameron Morano fourth. Jason Maines rounding out the top 5 right now is Sean Hill. And this is going to get really crazy. That first lap, so much movement. Jason, Matthew, and Garrett are going to try everything to control it here. But that 45 might have something to say about it. So is the 3 of Sean Hill. If you're just joining in, it's going to be an overtime finish here in Tuesday Night Thunder and RMR Money Racing. Just remind everyone that was maybe tuning in the last one or tunes in general, because I did misspeak earlier in the first broadcast for the Alloy Wheel Repair Specialist Fast Track Sim Racing Cup Series. Next week is not the Daytona 250. Remember, tonight was the Clash. It is actually the Duels. Excited for those. That will set the lineup for the Daytona 250, which is February 20th. That is the Monday after the real-life Daytona 500. Should be a pretty good payout night. Don't have the exact calculations with me. I didn't get to do them pre-races. We were really busy setting this up. We had to sprint over from the first broadcast onto this one, but I hope everybody's enjoying it. These guys have been putting on a pretty good show so far tonight. Always makes my job easier when they do that. Not sure yet if you'll see us be the main broadcaster for Tuesday Night Thunder or not. Hoping that would be the case, but haven't gotten confirmation on any of that stuff just yet. But we'll let you know. So stay tuned for that. I like Garrett's paint scheme there. Sim Seats kind of reminds me of the Bazooka Bubblegum colors, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure a lot of you do. Kind of what it reminds me of, though. Pace car lights should go off this time. Gives us the symbol for 1 to go. And you see, guess who avoided it? Got their lap back. Mr. Michael Triscaro in the 34. Team PGR still has a chance. Curtis Rogers up in 8th right now. Mike Davenport out of the race. Brandon Broadfoot 9th. Michael Triscaro is going to have to start at the end of the longest line for getting that lucky dog, but either way, still giving himself a chance. Mike Davenport, of course, in the pits. His night is over. He is multiple laps down. But now, I don't think we're going to see any more sitting back from any of these guys. Ken McCall Jr., we saw him playing patience. Not anymore. Matthew Baker looks like does decide to take the top lane here, though. And I'm not sure, actually, I didn't really notice when the caution first came out if he was already second or if they decided to arrange this in the fashion that they did. But I'm telling you, the only way you're getting around any of those three in your top three is you're going to have to go to that third lane. I don't think they're moving. You got to get in that third lane as soon as you can. I know a lot of people like to wait until the last lap, and I think that works really well in the next gens where the side draft is so effective and the runs are so huge once you get linked up. But in these cars, it takes a little bit longer. The pushing's a lot more delicate. Don't get me wrong, you can really still bump in these cars, but you just can't lock on and all of a sudden make up 10 miles an hour like you can in the next gen. It takes time to get the runs cranked up. So if you're going to go, I think you got to really go from the drop of the green. We're only going to have 2 laps. Remember the rules. If we take the white flag without caution, the next flag will end it. In iRacing, they will not throw the yellow on the white flag. So if they all pile up on the last lap, it doesn't matter. We'll just keep going. Whoever brings it back first wins. However, if they all wreck and they draw the caution on that first lap, we will rack them up and try it again. We're approaching midnight here on a Tuesday. But before we move on to Wednesday, we got some business to settle here. Pace car pulls off. Matthew Baker on the outside. Garrett Maines the inside. Row 2. Cameron Romano. Jason Maines on the outside. Row 3. Sean Hill. Jeff Merck. Who's going to take home the money tonight? Rolling into the Geico restart zone. We're going to do it one more time. Green flag is back out. 2 to go at Talladega. Matthew Baker gets a really good jump. He is going to indeed drop right down in front of Garrett Maines' teammate. That puts Jason Maines up top. Jeff Merck going to be behind Jason. I don't think Jeff will make a 3-wide move. I think he'll maybe stay behind that 11. So we'll see who decides to do it first. The 65 has damage. Further back, see a lot of shuffling. Guys are getting ready to make their move. We might see a couple on the last lap. Up top, there goes Ian Martin. He has help from the 24. Now the 65 dives back up top. That draws the 98 back down low. The 3 jumps up to the middle line. That's Sean Hill. Into turn 3, we got some 3-wide further back. Not making any progress, so that 65 has too much damage on his hood. Drops back down low, so does the 24. Jeff Merck still pushing Jason Maines, but up front it's all Matthew Baker and Garrett Maines. That outside really falling back. This could generate a lot of momentum for him, though. Into turn 1. White flag. The final time. Out of turn 2. Down the backstretch. Who's going to get the big run right here? We see 3 wide further back still with the 65. Now they're all snaking around. Can they make it back? Sean Hill, no move yet. Ian Martin thought about jumping out of line. Thinks twice about it. These guys are going to have one more shot at it in the short shoot and the trial off turn 4. Matthew Baker, still no contest up front. Just his teammate behind Garrett Maines. Now we see Sean Hill try the third lane, thinks twice. They're wrecking hard out back. Up front, though, it's still Matthew Baker into the tribal for the final time. Wrecking even harder out back to the line. It's going to go to Matthew Baker at Talladega. Matthew Baker gets it done at Talladega, and it's a 1-2-3 finish for Matthew Baker, Jason Maines, and Garrett Maines. And that's how important teamwork is, and that's what you can get when you have good teamwork. Jeff Merck also finished fourth, so maybe even a top four. We'll see if we see triple, maybe quadruple burnouts from this group. And we saw some big wrecks at the end. We'll take a look back at them real quick. But first, actually, Jeff Merck doors Garrett Maines. We'll see if Garrett retaliates here. Oh, he does. He takes out the 60. Not too happy about that. We might have some words exchanged on pit road after. Meanwhile, Baker and Jason Maines going to work their way into the tribal here. Do a little celebration. While they do this, I'm going to see if I can find them in Discord to get some winning interviews from the drivers, from your top three. They may not be in here tonight, however. Jeff Merck, T-Bone's in there. Matthew Baker is in the waiting room. Pull him in here. We will see if we can get Garrett and Jason in here as well. Looks like he is going to finish his victory burnout after getting the win here at Talladega. Just waiting another moment for these guys to hop in. While we do that, let's go take a look at this crazy finish. Not a photo finish like we've sometimes seen, but it looked like a couple guys that thought maybe they're going to have a chance all of a sudden didn't. That's what happens when you wait too long sometimes. Let's go to TV2 first. Let's go to David Sheets. I saw him get turned around, take a hard hit into the outside wall. So he already wrecked at this point, so this happens further back. See if we can find out what happens here. Watch the 06. 65 coming down the track. Clips the 06. This sends David Sheets up hard into the wall. All four tires off the ground for a second. We go back into the tribal here where we had a second wreck involving Sean Hill. Not sure how this one started. Maybe a little bit of a stack up. Oh no, the 60-year-old Morse Jr. on the apron. Him and his teammate get together, contact. A 98, huge hit. Ian Martin hard into the wall, flips up into the air, into the catch fence actually. My goodness. Oh yeah, the 98 into the grandstands. Actually then gets stopped in the catch fence. Wow, what a wreck for Ian Martin. That is not one that you see too often. And then we look at the finish. Let's look at the line here real quick. See how close it was. The gap was 7/100th of a second. Right there. That's the margin of victory for your winner, Matthew Baker in the 5. And let's see if we have them all in here for interviews now, actually. Pull the results up too while we're at it. Looks like, yes, we did get some more of them here, so we're going to pull them up here. All right, and first, ladies and gentlemen, here we are going to interview your third place finisher tonight, Garrett Maines. Garrett, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, talk about teamwork. You guys swept the top 3, maybe even top 4. I wasn't sure whether or not Jeff Merck was working with you guys, but how did you all 3 manage to get it done tonight, and how did you come home with a third place finish?
Man, that was a heck of a night. Merck worked his way back up after all of us got, involved, or half of us got involved in that crash about lap 40. And so, it was nice to see everybody get reorganized and back into position, and it just worked out there at the end that we were able to work together, and all the pieces fell together. Everybody did a good job.
Everybody looked like they did a good job for sure. Before we let you go, man, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my dad, Matthew, and Jeff Merck there. That was good teamwork throughout the race. Shout out to MCU Body and Lennox for all their support. And Also, shout out to Cover Seal and FGR Excel for their support in the Cook Series this year.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was your third place finisher, Garrett Maines. Now we're going to talk to your second place finisher, Jason Maines. Jason, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you beat your son out. You came home second. The team finished 1, 2, 3. How's it feel?
It feels great. We finally had some luck. I figured it's going to be just like the last 4 or 5 races. I think we've been wrecked coming to at the end of the race, and got wrecked in this one kind of the same way, and got very fortunate to come back up there and having my teammate Burke work with me, and Garrett and Baker. It played out. And Alex drove a good race tonight, and appreciate him not swiping tonight and doing a good job.
All right, man. Before we let you go, so you want to thank or shout out?
I always thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Everything we do is for him. That's why we're here. I thank Lennox Industries, Bradley Mechanical. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Ron putting on the race, and my teammates for the help out there. It was a lot of fun.
All right. That's your second place finisher in the 11 car, Jason Maines. Now we're going to go to the winner, Matthew Baker. Matthew, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Austin.
All right. Well, you bring home the win. Your team got 1, 2, 3. But let's talk about that win. How did you get it done from that last restart and hold them all off?
I think being lined up on the top and getting down in front of Garrett was key. It seemed like the bottom was super strong the whole time throughout that last restart. I don't know where that came from, but it's probably because Garrett was pushing me. But they just couldn't get organized behind, and they were trying to make it 3 wide, so it made our job a little bit easier on the bottom, just holding it down there. But good teamwork all the way throughout, even with the wreck that happened. I'm glad we were able to get back up there and take home the 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to Coasting Thunder, MBG Motorsports, Warriors Wraps, Baker and Son Construction. Thanks to the teammates, Garrett, Jason, and Jeff, as always. Love racing with them. Shout out to the family watching, and thanks for putting on the broadcast. You always do a great job, like going back and watching them. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. He's one of the best.
Thank you, Baker. That does mean a lot. That is your first place finisher tonight, Matthew Baker in the 5 car. Let's go over your finishing results before we let everybody go. First place tonight was Matthew Baker. Second, Jason Maines. Third, Garrett Maines. Fourth, Jeff Merck. Fifth is going to go to Cameron Romano. New driver gets himself in the money. Nicely done. Sixth, Michael Triscaro. Seventh, Daryl Young. Eighth, Jeremy Osborne. Ninth, Danny Eshelman. 10th, Brandon Broadfoot. 11th, Mark Von Dell. 12th, Sean Hill. 13th, Curtis Rogers. 14th, Ron Morris Jr. 15th, Ken McCall Jr. 16th, David Sheets. 17th, Ian Martin. 18th, Mike Davenport. And that is going to round out your results tonight. It was a great night of racing here in the RMR Tuesday Night Thunder Series. Matthew Baker, though, did come home the winner. And his teammates got second and third. Just a reminder, this series will be happening every Tuesday. I don't know yet if it will be on Ghost Racing Network or not. I haven't been able to find that out. We'll let you know when we do. I hope everybody did enjoy. Thank everybody for coming out. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you did like it, please leave us a like. It helps out a lot. And if you're new here, go ahead and give us a follow. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.